Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video. So we've just had the release of the Journey into Nyx set, so new set, new fat pack. So let's have a look at this fat pack for Journey into Nyx. So not really changed. We've got the player's guide with the visual encyclopedia in it. This is actually also a card box once you open it up. You get in here 9 booster packs, 80 card basic land, a spin down life counter and 2 deck boxes. So let's open this up, see what sort of things we can find inside, see what pulls we get. As always now, I tend to try and do these fat packs completely unprepared, so I've not looked at the spoilers or anything. Okay, so there we have our visual encyclopedia, which we'll take a look at. This is our card box. And our deck boxes. Just try something. Not quite wide enough for stuff with sleeves on. Just don't think so anyway. There are those, so you can see the artwork. And just so you can see the artwork on the box, there we go. So that's our land pack, the remainder of our boosters, so 9 boosters, which we'll crack open in a moment. And as always, the obligatory how to play Magic guide, because it's obviously assuming that this could be the first product that you've ever opened. So let's have a look at the visual encyclopedia. So with this player's guide, the first half of it really just looks at key concepts within this particular set, and it sort of explains. So it starts, it says, in the Journey into Nyx set, the dispute between the heroic mortals and the Nyx-born minions of the gods has reached a breaking point with the ascension of the usurper god Xenagos, and it goes into more detail about the backstory. And obviously key gods, and then so obviously you've got a Planeswalker profile for Ajani, Mentor of Heroes, and as with all the other players' guides for the sets, they list the 10 coolest cards for this particular set. So we have Ajani, Mentor of Heroes, Keranos, God of Storms, Prophetic Flame Speaker, Godsend, Eidolon of Blossoms, Mana Confluence, Underworld Queensmith, Sage of Hours, Silence the Believers, and Nessian Game Warden. And then it gets onto our actual card encyclopedia. So all of the cards that are within the set are listed here. And so it's obviously a very useful resource if you're trying to work out what cards you have, you know, what cards you might be after and what's available. And a card checklist, which obviously assists you with your collection. Okay, so let's have a look at the land artwork. We'll just flick through this so we get a feel for what it looks like. As often happens with later sets within a block, they simply sort of reuse the artwork from the first set of the block. So I'm just going to quickly flick through these just in case you've not seen any of the earlier videos where I would have already shown you the artwork. As with all freshly opened Magic product, very slippery. You can see here we've got obviously mana of each of the 5 colours. What you really need here is smell-o-vision, because there's nothing quite like the smell of fresh Magic cards. And there we have it, just starting to see the artwork repeating now. So you basically get, that would be 80 land there, split between the 5 colours. So that's obviously going to help you, basically build a first deck. If, like I said, this is your only product. So let's start going through these boosters, see what we can do. As always, I'm just going to go through them, starting with the commons first, and then uncommons, and then finally the rares or mythics. So first up we have Lightning Diadem, Eagle of the Watch, Market Festival, Grim Guardian, and also what I'll do, like here, I'll try and flag up any keywords, mechanics. So we got Constellation. So whenever Grim Guardian or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Cloak Siren, Cruel Feeding, has Strive on it. So for Strive, Cruel Feeding costs 2 black or more to cast for each target beyond the first. Any number of target creatures each get +1/+0 and gain lifelink until end of turn. So you take that ability and you basically can apply the Strive cost on that if you want to. Stonewise Fortifier, Rise of Eagles, Ferry's Band Thunderhoof. It's got Heroic on it. We've seen Heroic in the other set, but just to remind you, Heroic, whenever you cast a spell that targets Ferry's Band Thunderhoof, put 2/1/1 counters on Ferry's Band Thunderhoof. Blade Tusk Boar, Wildfire Cerberus. So we're moving now on to the uncommons. This has Monstrosity of 1 on it, so if this creature isn't monstrous, put a +1/+1 counter on it and it becomes monstrous. Also the previous card had Intimidate, although that's a fairly well established ability. So with Intimidate, the creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a colour with it. So it's a sort of variation on something called Fear. Deserter's Quarters, Brain Maggot, and here we go. So it's a pretty important card in a set which features a lot of gods. So this is Deicide. It's 1 and a white. It's rare. Instant. Exile target enchantment. If the exiled card is a god card, search its controller's graveyard, hand and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. then that player shuffles his or her library. So basically the card does exactly what it says. We have an island in our land spot and a promo card, or I say promo card, an advert basically. I always think it'd be just nice if they did away with the advert cards and just put something useful in there like a token. That would be good. Font of Fertility, Rotted Hulk, God Hunter Octopus, Rouse the Mob, another card with Strive on it, Font of Vigour, Stonewise Fortifier, Rise of Eagles, we've seen that one before in the Priest's Pack, another Ferris Band Thunderhoof, another Blade Tusk Boar with Intimidate, Dreadbringer Lampads, another one with Constellation on it. So for this one, whenever Dreadbringer Lampads or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gains Intimidate until end of turn. Mogis Warhound, so this is our first of our uncommons. It's got Bestow on it, so if you're not seeing Bestow from the previous sets, so the Bestow cost here is 2 and a red. If you cast this card for its Bestow cost, it's an aura spell with enchant creature. It becomes a creature again if it's not attached to a creature. Armour of Iroas, I think that is. Spire Spine, also got Bestow on it, but the Bestow cost here is 4 and a green. And our rare is Hero's Bane. So 3 and 2 green for a 0/0. So somewhere in here it must be assigning at the very least toughness, otherwise it would basically die when it enters the battlefield. So Hero's Bane enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. So that's where we get our plus power and toughness from. For 2 and 2 green, put X +1/+1 counters on Hero's Bane, where X is its power. Island, and oh, there we go. We have a token, and like I said, it would be nice, I think, if they just basically use that slot for purely tokens. Okay, so Nature's Panoply, I think that is. Panoply. Another one with Strive on it. Grim Guardian, another constellation. Aerial Formation, Strive. Satyr Hoplite, has Heroic on it, so we're seeing a lot of keyworded abilities here. Another Heroic, that's on Lagona Band Trailblazer. Another Dreadbringer Lampads. Stonewise Fortifier. Triton Shorestalker. Can't be blocked, that one. Renowned Weaver. Crystalline Nautilus, so this is an uncommon. It's got Bestow on it. Riddle of Lightning. I'll have a quick look at this because I'm always interested in burn spells. 3 and 2 red, instant. Choose target creature or player. Scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. Riddle of Lightning deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost to that creature or player. To scry 3, look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put any number of them on the bottom of your library and the rest on top in any order. So if you've not opened any of the other sets of this block, then you wouldn't know, but scry is all over the place in this block. Nyx Weaver. Doomwake Giant, so this is another rare, obviously. No mythics yet, but we're hoping. Still got a few packs to go. 4 and a black for a 4/6 enchant creature giant. It has Constellation on it. Oh, sorry, yeah, Constellation. Whenever Doomwake Giant or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn. And we have a foil here. So for a red, it's a 1/1 common with heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Satyr Hoplite, put a +1/+1 counter on Satyr Hoplite. Planes and advert. Okay, we have another God Hunter Octopus. Sigilled Skink. Font of Vigor. Graphics' Insight. Farrix's Chosen, which has Death Touch on it. Triton Shorestalker. Renowned Weaver. Blade Tusk Boar. Cruel Feeding. Mortal Obstinacy. Tormented Thoughts. So moving on to our commons. Fellhide Petrifier. Another card with Death Touch on it. Riptide Chimera. And we have a non-basic land. So this is going to generate blue or red. So this is Temple of Epiphany. Temple of Epiphany enters the battlefield tapped. When Temple of Epiphany enters the battlefield, scry for 1, and you get to tap it for blue or red. So that's our rare. Forest and another advert. Eagle of the Watch. Market Festival. Grim Guardian. Cloaked Siren. Rouse the Mob. Satyr Grove Dancer. Flurry of Horns. Dreadbringer Lampheads. Stonewise Fortifier. Triton Shorestalker. Thought Trender Lamia. That's our uncommon. Another one with Constellation on it. Another Spire Spine. Saw one of those earlier. A Crone Linebreaker. That's got heroic on it. Doomwake Giant. So I think this would be. We have a Doomwake Giant earlier. Let me just. Yep, so this is our second Doomwake Giant. So it's 4 and a black with Constellation on it for a 4/6. Whenever Doomwake Giant or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, creatures your opponent's control get -1/-1 until end of turn. So you've got sort of a one-sided board sweeping going on here. So basically, if your opponent's got weenies, that's going to clear them out. You know, anything with toughness of 1 will get swept by that. And obviously, if that's not the case and they've got a slightly higher toughness, that's going to weaken them as well if you choose to attack. And that's obviously going to get triggered if you've got enchantments coming in as well. Okay, Sigilled Skink. Actually, just jumping back to that card. Let me just check that. So, whenever Doomwake Giant or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, I'm assuming that. And again, if I'm wrong here, correct me on that. That's going to trigger again multiple times if. Thinking about this, yeah, if you've got 2 Doomwake Giants, you're going to get interesting triggerings going on there, and also enchantments coming in, so that's going to compound that. That's a very useful effect. Sigilled Skink. So we saw one of those earlier. Font of Vigor. Carafic's Insight, Farika's Chosen, Countermand, Ravenous, oh, crikey, Lecrota, is that? Lecrocota, I think it is. Lecrocota, yeah, Ravenous Lecrocota. It's got Vigilance on it and Monstrosity. Font of Ire, Aspect of Gorgon, Mortal Obstinacy, Pin to the Earth, Thought Render Lamia, Reprisal, so we're moving on to our uncommons. Banishing Light is in here. Okay, so we have a Hydra Broodmaster, 4 and 2 green, creature Hydra. It's a 7/7. Also abilities XX green, Monstrosity X. If this creature isn't monstrous, put X +1/+1 counters on it and it becomes monstrous. When Hydra Broodmaster becomes monstrous, put XX green Hydra creature tokens onto the battlefield. Island and Minotaur token. Okay, Countermand, we saw one of those earlier. Pensive Minotaur, Armament of Nyx, Font of Fertility, Rotted Hulk, Dreadbringer Lampads, Supply Line Cranes, Thassa's Devourer, Desecration Plague, Flame Speaker's Will, Fleet Feather Cockatrice. It's got Flash, Flying and Death Touch on it. So moving on to our uncommons, and Monstrosity as well. Storm Chaser Chimera, Flying and Scry. Agent of Erebos. It's got Constellation on it. And Harness by Force. So this is our rare. 1 colourless, 2 red for a sorcery with Strive on it. So Harness by Force costs 2 red more to cast for each target beyond the first. Gain control of any number of target creatures until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain haste until end of turn. Okay. And a bird token. So no appearance of the elusive mythic yet. Let's see how we do with these packs. Okay. Rouse the Mob, Armament of Nyx, Humbler of Mortals, Nyx Infusion, Harvest Guard Alcedes, is that? Alcedes. Returned Reveler, Starfall, so a lot of cards in here we haven't seen yet. Cruel Feeding, Stonewise Fortifier, Rise of Eagles, which we have seen, Wild Fast Cerberus. So on commons now, Consigned to Dust, Leonin Iconoclast. Let's see what we have. So we have Master of the Feast, which is our rare. It's 1 and 2 black for 5/5 with flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent draws a card. So that's obviously the downside of having a 5/5 flyer for only 1 and 2 black. Mountain and an advert. So we got, is our last pack now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 9. Okay. So this might be a first. Fat pack unboxing with no mythic. Although we got some pretty, very solid rares here. So pleased with what I've got. Ajani's Presence, Golden Hind, Feast of Dreams, Cloak Siren, Lightning Diadem, Blade Tusk Boar, Dreadbringer Lampads, Supply Line Cranes, so a few more cards here we haven't seen yet, Thassa's Devourer, a little more with constellation on it, Desecration Plague, Interpret the Signs, Rollock of Abandon, Pull from the Depth, so we're now moving on to our uncommons, and we have a rare here, Scourge of the Fleet, so 5 and 2 blue for a 6/6 creature Kraken. When Scourge of the Fleet enters the battlefield, return each creature your opponents control with toughness X or less to its owner's hand, where X is the number of islands you control. And planes and an advert. So there we have it. We have the Journey into Nyx Fat Pack. Yeah, pretty solid pulls there actually. No mythics, but then you can't always be that lucky every unboxing. And what I think I'll do here as a bonus, as the unboxing, I think it was a couple of weekends ago now actually. I was down in Toronto, went into a very good card shop there called, well, it's actually a game store called 401 Games. So if you're ever in Toronto, check them out on Yonge Street. And I noticed in the store they had a booster of one set that I don't actually have any boosters of. What I've tried to do with my Magic collection is I've tried to just make sure I actually have one booster of every set from the dark, because anything before that it sort of gets a bit silly with the cost on the boosters. So that's what I've done. And obviously other sets I've opened more than that, but generally I just wanted at least one booster, so it gives me a nice sort of snapshot of the of Magic throughout its history. So this was one particular set that I didn't have, so we're going to open up this Unglued pack. So this was an unset, so it's obviously a sort of jokey cards. These unsets also had very nice full art for the lands in them. You'll notice they're silver bordered, so they're not for competitive play, but they often turn up in things like cubes, some of these. So we have Growth Spurt, 1 and a green, roll a 6-sided die, target creature gets XX until end of turn, where X is equal to the die roll. So yeah, not a particularly pretty useful giant growth there with a twist. Knight of the Hokey Pokey, 2 white, first strike, 1 and a white, do the hokey pokey, stand up, wiggle your butt, raise your hands above your head and shake them wildly as you rotate 360 degrees, prevent all damage to Knight of the Hokey Pokey from any one source. That's a 2/2. Clam Session, 1 and 2 blue for a 2/5. When Clam Session comes into play, choose a word. During your upkeep, sing at least 6 words of a song, one of which must be the chosen word, or sacrifice Clam Session. You cannot repeat a song. Deadhead, 3 and a black for a 3/3. Put Deadhead into play. Use this ability only if an opponent loses contact with his or head, with his or her hand of cards, and only if Deadhead is in your graveyard. Paper Tiger. So this is one that does actually, I've seen turn up in Pauper decks. It's a 4 colour list for a 4/3. Rock lobsters cannot attack or block. So this often crops up with the other. There's like a paper rock scissors theme. Cycle, should I say. A Goblin Bowling Team, 3 and a red for a 1/1. Whenever Goblin Bowling Team damages any creature or player, roll a 6-sided die. Goblin Bowling Team deals damage to that creature or player. Additional deals that Start again. Goblin bowling team deals to that creature or player additional damage equal to the die roll. It's actually quite difficult to see with the coloured backgrounds. Now I have a goblin token there. Charm School. When Charm School comes into play, choose a colour and balance Charm School on your head. Prevent all damage to you of the chosen colour. If Charm School falls off your head, sacrifice Charm School. And our rare is I'm Rubber, You're Glue. So that's 2 white. Speak only in rhyming sentences. If you do not sacrifice I'm Rubber, You're Glue, say I'm Rubber, You're Glue, everything bounces off me and sticks to you. Target spells or abilities which target only you. Targets another player of your choice instead. The new target must be legal. And this was what I was also talking about at the start, was that these had very nice artwork for the lands and bordering. So there you have that one. We've got a swamp here. So that's why these the prices on these boosters tend to get sort of bumped up a bit. And there's only 10 cards in here basically. So there we have it. There's an additional unboxing or opening for a Magic the Gathering Unglued booster. Okay, thanks very much for watching the Journey into Nick's unboxing. Bye for now.